Should I end my engagement with my fiancé who raped me while I was drunk? I, now a 20-year-old female, am confused about whether I should break up with my boyfriend, Anil, now a 21-year-old male, who had intercourse with me when I was drunk, breaking the pledge that we would not engage in a physical relationship until marriage. For context, I belong to a Christian family from South Carolina, and my boyfriend comes from a Muslim family. However, I am liberal and believe that all religions are equal and more or less the same, and one can choose to follow any of them or none. Anil was also liberal and enjoyed listening to music, hanging out with his female friends, and occasionally drinking. It can be said that he was not a practicing Muslim, but his parents were practicing their religion. In 2021, I, then, joined the University of California, where I met Anil, then 19, and we soon became good friends. After some time, I realized that I was in love with him, and I decided to propose to him. One day, I proposed to him, but he seemed hesitant and didn't give a definite response to my proposal. When I asked why he neither accepted nor rejected my proposal, he said that he liked me but cannot marry me because of religious differences between us. It was disappointing for me because he was the first person I had proposed to. In the evening, I started studying about Islam, particularly about the marriage laws in Islam, and I found that according to Islamic laws, a Muslim man can marry women from among the people of the book, which means Christians, Jews, and others who believe in revealed books. I told this to Anil and asked him why he refused to enter a relationship with me. He said that while it was true that a Muslim man can marry a Christian woman and that he could give serious thought to my proposal, his parents would not agree because they believed Christianity had been changed by Christians, and now Muslims cannot marry Christian girls. It was a strange reasoning Anil gave, but I didn't argue with him because I didn't want to spoil our friendship and the slim chance of him accepting my proposal in the future. And despite his parents' views about interreligious marriage, I asked Anil to discuss the matter with them, hoping they might agree to our marriage. He agreed, but said his parents were out of town for a week and he would talk to them when they returned. I said, okay, and then spent the whole next week delving into research on interreligious marriages. From the internet, I found that many Muslim men, and of course women, had indeed married non-Muslims. When his parents returned home, Anil told me that he had discussed our potential marriage with them, but they refused to accept our union. Instead, they suggested that I should convert to Islam if I wanted to marry their son. I pointed out that many Muslim men and women marry non-Muslims in the USA, so why couldn't we do the same? I told him that we were consenting adults and should not have to seek permission from others to get married. Anil replied that his parents were not just others, they were his parents, and he was not willing to marry someone against their wishes. He became a little angry and said that the only way I could marry him was by converting to Islam. We both remained silent for a few minutes, and then I said I needed time to think about it and would tell him my decision later. When I thought about it thoroughly, I realized that it is very easy to give lectures about secularism on social media and criticize people for being too religious. Though I believed in interreligious marriage and had no problem with whichever religion one follows, it was not an easy decision for me to publicly declare myself as a Muslim, particularly because I was living with my conservative Christian family. However, I didn't want to lose Anil at any rate, so we tried our best to convince his parents multiple times, but all in vain. After 3 months of intense mental struggle, I made the tough decision to convert to Islam because I couldn't bear the idea of not having Anil in my life. When I told my decision to Anil, he suddenly became very happy and asked me to do the conversion formalities ASAP. Then, in the evening, we met Anil's parents and told them that I was ready to convert to Islam. They called a local mosque's prayer leader, known as an imam in the Muslim community, and we had the conversion ceremony. After it, the imam, Anil's parents, and other Muslim girls who had come to see my conversion congratulated me for entering Islam. They all seemed very happy about my conversion, but I was not excited because of my conversion. Instead, I was happy because the path for our marriage had been paved. My parents, siblings, and no one from my social circle knew about my conversion to Islam. I told Anil's parents not to share the videos and pictures they had taken during my conversion ceremony on social media, and also requested them not to mention it to my parents when they would meet them. I didn't want to incur the wrath of my parents and strain my relationship with them. After all this, the next week, our parents met, and then we got engaged soon. However, we decided to get married after completing our education, perhaps 2 years later. During our engagement, we also made the decision to abstain from sex until our marriage because we wanted to save ourselves for our wedding day. Despite this, we still enjoyed romantic moments and would sometimes sleep together, with Anil holding me close all night. Fast forward to 2 weeks ago, we decided to go on a 1-week trip to Angeles National Forest with our friends. The trip was fantastic, but the last night turned out to be terrible. That night is the reason I'm here on Reddit, writing this lengthy post. On the last night, we had a fantastic party on the hotel terrace. We enjoyed a variety of dishes, from mozzarella sticks to barbecue, and danced the night away with plenty of pegs of Captain Morgan. Anil also had 2 to 3 pegs, but he didn't drink too much. I don't remember how many pegs I had, but I finally fell down fully drunk, and Anil took me to the room. When I was drunk asleep, Anil, who was not under the influence, had intercourse with me. When I woke up in the morning, I felt pain in my lower body. When I got out of the bed, I saw red stains on the bed sheet, and I soon understood what had happened at night. After knowing this, I went baffled and started weeping. At that time, my fiancé was taking a bath. When he came out, I asked him why he did all this when we had decided not to have sex before our marriage. He quickly said that he did all this with my consent, and he asked me to remember when he requested me to break our pledge made on our engagement, and I agreed. However, I don't remember anything. The last thing I remember is that I was making a peg for Anil. Having intercourse with someone who is under the influence is rape, and that is what Anil did. If he wanted to end that pledge, he could have asked me before the party. Why did he ask me, if ever, when I was drunk? He never asked me for sex while I was conscious, but didn't hesitate to have intercourse with me when he found me drunk and asleep. I believe I have and I have lost a kind of trust in him. I am thinking of ending my engagement with him. However, sometimes I think it might be an overreaction, and for the same reason, I am seeking your judgment. So, AITA,